There are a lot of really important things that you should have gotten out of the investigation on exploring parabolas. First of all, when you have a number in front of the x squared, and that number in my equation that I've drawn here is the letter a, it's called a parameter. So when that's actually replaced with a number, the a tells us a few things. In particular, if the a is positive, we know the parabola is going to be opening upwards or concave up. If the a is negative, we know that the parabola opens down. So take a moment and we're going to summarize that part here. We also know that the closer the value of a is to 0, the wider the opening is going to be, and the further it is from 0, like a -10 or a +10, the more narrow the opening will be. So keep those things in mind. Now, as far as the vertex part of the information that you found, we know that this letter h, this parameter h here, I'm going to move this down here, that represents the x-coordinate of the vertex. It also helps you get the equation of the axis of symmetry. In fact, your axis of symmetry is going to be x equals h. The x-coordinate of the vertex is the h value. Now you'll notice that beside h is the subtract sign. So when we have the letter h, just highlight that subtract sign. When we have the letter h, it's always whatever's being subtracted. So for example, if you have x take away 5, then 5 is the x-coordinate of the vertex. X equals 5 is also the equation of your axis of symmetry. Now if you instead had x plus something, and let me write that down here so we can follow along. If we had x plus 3, let's say, all squared, that really is the same thing as saying x take away -3 squared. So in this case, the h value is actually the -3. H equals -3 because it's always x take away and then the h value. So my x-coordinate of my vertex would be -3. And if I don't have anything added on the end, it really is 0. So this one would have had a vertex at -3, 0. That also means the axis of symmetry's equation would be x equals -3. So just keep that in mind when we're working with the x-coordinate of the vertex. You're really thinking switch the sign, but it's not when it's written in the format of x take away. Okay, so we're going to highlight or summarize what I have just said here. I'm just going to put myself on pause and type that up. Now the value of h also told us that we had if we looked at our original parent parabola of y equals x squared, and then let's say we did the y equals, let me go back to my pen here, sorry, y equals the x plus 3 all squared. This really means that I'm taking the parabola of y equals x squared and I'm moving it 3 units to the left because my h is at -3, so this is really moved 3 units to the left. So this is also going to tell us about our transformations. I'm not going to focus on that right now with this particular note, but we will look at that tomorrow for sure. All right, the last piece here, this k value, that coincides with the y-coordinate of the vertex. It also matches up with our optimal value. So lots of important stuff here in terms of things we know right away just by looking at the equation when it's written in this vertex form. So I will add that to this note, and this is like key information. You really need to embed this into your understanding of parabolas. Because this is the premise for getting the coordinates of the vertex is the premise for finding lots of solutions to lots of application problems. Okay, let's put this into practice and make sure we understand how to find the pieces of information from the vertex form of the equation. So on to the next slide, I've got a few examples here of 4 different functions, 4 different parabolas, and we're going to just label figure out their vertex, the direction of opening, the equation for the axis of symmetry, and the optimal value. So if I look at this very first one, I'm noticing that the value in front of the bracket is just a +1, so that tells me right away that my direction of opening is up. So I'm going to put that it opens up here in this part of the chart. the vertex, we know that the h coordinate is 2, so the x coordinate of our vertex would be 2. And then we know we have a plus 3 on the end, so the y coordinate of the vertex is the 3. Our equation for our axis of symmetry should be x equals, and then we look at that x coordinate of the vertex, which is a 2. And as far as our optimal value, we know our parabola opens up, so it reaches a minimum value and comes back up again, so we have a min. With our optimal value, we have a min of, and we're looking at that y coordinate of the vertex, which is 3. So this parabola only goes as low as 3 on the y, and then turns around and goes back up again. Try the next 3, see how you do, and then just put me on pause while you do that, and then you can check and see how you did. Okay, the second one, you should have that it's opening down. Opens down. You should have that the vertex is at -2, 0, because we're adding nothing onto the end of this, at 0. We have x equals -2, and this one, because it's opening down, it's going to reach a maximum of 0. The third one, this one's opening up, opens up. The vertex is at +1 and 5. X equals 1 is our axis of symmetry. It's opening up, so it's a min of, and the minimum value is 5 for our y coordinate of our vertex. And the last one I have here, it should be an opens down. Opens down. We have a vertex at -4, +8. So switch the sign, it's take away -4 and a +8 here. X equals -4. And because it's opening down, it has a max of, and the y coordinate of the vertex is 8. I am going to do one more example here, just because I haven't done one like this. So let's make this part E. We'll do E, and I'm going to go y equals 2x squared plus, no, let's make that a minus, minus 4. Okay, if we look at that, I'll give you a moment to think about that one, see what you can fill in, and then we'll take it up. Okay, this one should be an opens up, because we have a +2 in front of the x squared. Now in terms of the vertex, we are adding nothing to the x before we square it, so the vertex is a 0, -4. This is your y coordinate of your vertex. Should be x equals 0 here, opening up, so we have a minimum, and the minimum value in this case is -4. Hopefully that makes sense, and you can move on to the worksheet at the end of the booklet at this point.